Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jeff Ahern Show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So tell your friends, tell your family, and also join me at jeffahern.com, where I do all my news pieces, my comedy news. And I do that. Yeah, that's where I do it. So you can check that out there. And Jeremy's Razors. Huh? I forgot to shave today, but Jeremy's Razors. Sorry, Jeremy. 15% off. Ahern 15. You go to jeremy'srazors.com, you put that in and you get amazing product. I'm liking the bomb. I'm a big bomb. Who knew I was a bomb guy? I never had bomb. I'm like, it's a little fancy. I'm like a meat and potatoes, lather up with soap if I have to, and give me a cheapy Bic. But then Jeremy's has turned me. I'm practically metrosexual now. I don't know. Wouldn't go that far. But I do enjoy the bomb. Let's talk about what's going on in the world, which is more, generally speaking, Democrat insanity. Today's no different. So we'll kick things off talking about Target. Target. Target is where Bud Light was. Oh, actually, no, Bud Light's much worse off than Target. Let's be honest. But Bud Light was very happy, even though they're still sucking wind. And I honestly think the brand is done. I think I don't see them coming. Who's gonna? I need really mediocre beer. Nah, not that one. Outside of your branding, which they had great branding, the product itself was garbage, really. I mean, it's very mediocre, watered down beer, but the branding was good. And now the branding is obliterated, blown up, destroyed. And so you're left with the mediocre beer, and mediocre is me being polite. How do you save that? You're gonna somehow magically reap. I don't see it happening. So I feel like they're done. Now AB Beverage, who owns them, they're gonna be fine. They'll ride it out. But that particular brand, it's like I don't want to even compare it to Oldsmobile because I kind of liked Oldsmobile. They had some good cars. They got rid of them. We're gonna have to get rid of them. That wasn't even from being woke. That was just from having too much competition inside GM. Why am I talking? Well, let's not get into automotive. I'm on a tangent, Mark.
You're talking about automotives, and you talking about that. I was actually thinking about my days of college. I don't know if you had this, but when I was in college, there was a popular drink because I did go to a well-known university, a Jesuit university named Marquette and everything. But
sure.
It was also in Milwaukee, which means it's a drinking town. And in that drinking town, there were plenty of bars, including plenty of bars on campus. But I remember once going to a party and they said, hey, just come to the party. We're going to have a good old time and we're going to have some drinks and everything. And they had something, I think the name of it was a Wapatui or something like that. But basically what it was,
I would try that.
Like I said, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was 1920, but you cleaned out the entire bathroom, you threw in some ice, and basically you had them pour in whatever beers they wanted. So there was probably some Bud Light, there was probably some wine, there was probably so whatever. Awful. And it just was all poured in there together as one big alcoholic mixed match of drinks. I'm sure it was all kinds of poisonous, but
they didn't clean that tub, Mark. That tub was not clean before they made this beer. This concoction. I feel like you got a lot more than you bargained for. I feel like your immune system is much stronger because of that batch of Wapatui or whatever.
I'm sure it's much better than it was. Hey, I had a quick question for you because I was looking up in some news and everything. I had a couple of quick questions for you, but when I was looking up in the news and I saw an article in Minnesota of all places, but apparently in Minnesota you could go stay in some very unusual places. So I was going to wonder if you were going to go to any of these unusual vacation rentals, because apparently if you're looking for something unusual to do in Minnesota, there is something called the Jailhouse Inn that has a drunk tank and a cell block among the dozen rooms in a former 1869 county house jail. So you could actually go.
I would totally stay there. Sign me up. That sounds awesome. That sounds great.
You can also that's in Preston, or you can also stay in the Whistle Stop Bread and Breakfast, which is in New York Mills, and that rents bedrooms in an elegantly restored Victorian train car. So you can actually live in a train car and all in that space. And then apparently St. Paul, which is right next to Minneapolis, you can stay in the Coveted Inn, which offers a memorable view of the skyline from a floating bed and breakfast with 4 rooms. So apparently you can stay in all these unusual places, including a grain bin a train, and a jailhouse. So I'm thinking that these are some interesting places that you can stay at and all of that. So
I like the jailhouse the best because it's old timey, like a regular jail. It's a little too, could be real. So yeah, I like the 1800s version. It makes me think like Bonanza or something. Yeah, look at me, I'm a rustic cowboy in the drunk tank.
That's right. Or you can stay in Two Harbors, which is a chance to sleep in 15 boxcars at the Northern Rails trail car.
I want the Pullman. I want the Pullman. I don't want a boxcar, not some hobo. I want a fancy Pullman car to sleep in. That'd be fun. But yeah, no boxcars.
Yeah, they got all kinds of interesting things because apparently there's, like I said, there's the cluster of grain bins turned into rental units in Alexandria, or an artsy treehouse in Uppsala. So you can even stay in a treehouse. Apparently they got some fancy places that if you decide to go to Minnesota on one of your trips, you can stay in those places. So I think personally, I could see Jeff in a grain silo. That could be interesting. Just
I've seen so many movies where people die in the grain silo. It's like a horror movie or like an action thriller where all of a sudden all the grain comes in like, I think I'd have PTSD.
We were talking earlier before we started showing. We'll let you get back to your news stories, but I'm with you. We're talking about the swan that got eaten over there in upstate New York and everything. And the folks said that they thought the swan was a duck. And I know that the birds can oftentimes flock together and different birds can look alike, but that's like calling a robin a chickadee. I just don't see a swan and a duck being in the same category. One has a very long neck, the other doesn't have a long neck, and all in that space. One had a entire play and ballet done after them. I don't remember anything called Duck Lake.
Yeah, no, Duck Lake. That's a comedy version of it, though. I might go see Duck Lake. Actually,
Duck Lake.
Yeah, it's a parody of Swan Lake. If I do Swan Lake enough, I'd probably be hysterical. But yeah, Duck Lake's. It's not. You might be onto something here, Mark.
I might be onto something. But what do you think? These kids apparently thought that it was a duck, and they wanted.
No, they're lying. Like you said, they flat out knew it was a swan. It's a swan. It's obviously a swan. It's got the long neck. It's white. It's elegant. It doesn't look anything like a dopey duck. I mean, yeah, I like ducks, but you're never gonna confuse them for a swan. Now they killed it. They ate it, and then they're like, we thought it was a duck. When they got caught. It's absurd. I'm on.
It is totally absurd. But like I said, I've seen people that have switched their ways. Because I was telling you before that when I was young, my dad and mom prepared turtle stew. We had some other unusual foods because I know that there were family members that have had possum, raccoon, and deer, and a number of other things. But I do remember sampling the turtle stew. It actually wasn't that bad. I'm not going to say it tasted like chicken because that was so long ago that I don't remember what it tasted like. But I do remember it tasted good. But now Dad's all into turtles. He's got a turtle totem that hangs out with him and everything. He definitely has some turtles that he keeps and everything, and he even studies turtles. So as you were saying earlier, maybe he is repairing his ways for his past mistake of eating the turtle when he was in his 30s or 40s or something like that.
Maybe that's what's going to happen with these kids. They're going to become big swan, crusaders. They're going to feel so guilty. I don't think so, but maybe that could happen. Like your dad saw the light. He saw the turtle light, and he's like, all right, I'm all team turtle now. I'm going to protect these little buggers. And maybe these punk swan-eating kids.
They're going to become teen swans. They're going to have little swan dolls. They're going to have little swans all over their house.
Yeah, they're going to get one of those in the lake. They'll get like start their own business with like the swans with the pedals, and you can go around and it's all swan related stuff.
As a matter of fact, I have a prediction for you. Are you ready for this prediction? Because I think these were teenage boys and everything. I don't think these were girls from what I read, but they could have been girlfriends. But I think they were teenage boys. So this is my prediction for you. I think since they are teenagers, they are not yet, and I'm even at 61 not married. But a lot of people do get married. Yourself have a lovely wife and everything. I am thinking that somewhere in there, by the time that they get married, one of their wives, their maiden name is going to be Swan.
That would be good. I could see that. Swan, yeah, it's a legitimate name.
It's a legitimate name.
Or they name their kid that. They name their kid Swan. Yeah. Not a lot of actually. I say there's not a lot of swan. There are swans, but the only one I think Lynn Swan.
Yes.
And Linswan, ironically, very elegant and regal, even in his catches. He was he had this fluidity to him. So the name really kind of worked well for him. I hated him because he got the Cowboys really good, I think, with the Immaculate Reception. What was that?
Did get the Cowboys with that Immaculate Reception. I told you before, I'm still trying to figure out, and he's in the championship. I don't know how I would feel. Of course, I'm rooting for Miami and Jimmy Butler. He did go to Marquette, so he's a fellow Marquette alumni, but they're down 0-1 and they're going up against the Joker. And I'm going that's a hard name to go against and everything. Because
I think the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets got this one. Never say never. You never know until the end. But boy, I like the Nuggets.
No, I think the Nuggets have got it. They've been strong. They haven't lost at home. I don't know that they're going to lose at home in this series either. I think it'll go maybe at least. I'm thinking 6, but maybe it'll only go 5.
Yeah, the refs will ref it up to make sure they get their
get at least
their
one
games in, get their TV required commercials in for all the sponsors. There'll be some questionable calls. We gotta get this. Gotta get this series a little tighter, fellas. A lot of revenue at stake. We want a game 7.
Can't have the sweep. Got to have a game 6 or at least maybe even a game 7.
Got to you got to go at least 5. This is big money. Tell the refs start calling stuff.
Joker have 3 fouls after 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, exactly. What? Oh man. That's how it's played.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you trying to say that there is a fix in sports?
Oh my God, yeah. I did a show once. I used to do the warm up on Jim Rome for Showtime. I did audience warm up, and they had the Dunley guy, Dungy. I forget his name.
Tony.
He was not Tony. It wasn't Tony. It was a crooked basketball player. It's an Irish name, but he was a crooked referee. So he was taking bribes. He's notorious for it. Can't remember his name, but so as an audience warm-up, you're supposed to get the crowd excited and applaud wildly when everyone comes out. So I didn't know who the guy was. So I'm like, all right, when he comes out, everyone will explode and get crazy. So he walks out, this crooked referee, and everyone's exploding like he's like Justin Bieber, yeah. And even he was taken back, what the hell? And Jim Rome's like, yeah, we can't use that. This guy's crooked. They're like, listen, everyone golf claps when he comes. I'm like, I didn't know he was. Sorry.
You didn't know he was. You were just doing your job. You
Donahue or something. I can't remember the guys. But yeah, it was a crooked ref. But it was pretty funny to watch his reaction to the crowd. Yeah.
But aren't there certain jobs that you have to be crooked at? I mean, I thought it was a prerequisite. I thought that you had to be crooked in order to be a ref, and you had to be crooked in order to be a politician. And there were a number of other jobs, but that was one of the prerequisites. You had to have had some questionable dealings. I'll just leave it at that. And I don't care whether you were a Republican or a Democrat. You had to have some.
I don't trust politicians. Just generally in general, it's a good rule of thumb.
I'm thinking you trust politicians about as much as you trust a dentist.
Well, I trust my dentist though, crazily, but there's a lot of dentists I don't trust. I've had some lousy dentists who basically told me I had 5 cavities, and then I got to double check. They're like, no, you're fine. You have 1 cavity. Shyster, but my current dentist, I love him. I'm like, oh, thank God, please don't ever leave.
You're like, this is a good dentist.
Good dentist, good guy. You get one, you hang on to him for dear life. Don't go away, don't retire, don't do anything. Mechanic, all these things, mechanic, dentist, doctor. You get a good one, you don't let them go.
Good plumber, you got to stick with them.
Good plumber, yeah. All these, it's so hard to find any of these. It's like, if you can find one, it's a miracle. If you can find a bunch, you're like, yeah, life is good.
Life is very good. Apparently, life is not that good for Macy's, Costco's, and Wegmans, because apparently Wegmans is closing one of its largest grocery stores. And I think I heard that Macy's and Costco's had their rates going down and everything in terms of the stock market. So maybe it's not that good for them and everything.
Well, yeah, big box stores are done. They're done. I mean, Amazon has destroyed the whole big box concept. There's no I could sit here right now, go on my computer and get everything I want, and it'll be here tomorrow, maybe 2 days. Or I could get in my car, drive, get out of the car, park. Why? Unless I have to have it right now. It just, I don't know, doesn't make sense. And then you got Target, with the whole let's indoctrinate your 2-year-old and 3-year-old with some crazy weird stuff them in their swimsuits. Why I gotta support them anyway? So it's like, yeah, and big box stores are going away, and they're quickening the arrival of or their complete loss of business with these woke publicity stunts that are just tanking them. It's classic liberalism, Democrat style. It doesn't work, so you do more of it. It's like, no, just do something different. It didn't work. You saw what happened with Bud Light.
No, speaking of things, I know what happened with Bud Light. Speaking of things that don't work, and I felt, you were not feeling that well, so we didn't talk about it last time. And I think it was an overseas flight and everything. You have traveled a lot on plane. I've traveled some on plane, not as much as I would like to, but you traveled a lot on plane. Why would you try to open the door of a plane? Because apparently there was somebody that was flying and they decided they were going to just open the door in mid-flight. I'm going like, it's a plane. I don't care if it's just getting near the landing and everything. Can't wait till the plane to land. Don't open the door beforehand. But apparently this person was thinking that they were going to, I don't know, jump out the plane. I don't know what they were doing, but
they're probably contemplating suicide or just killing, as part of their suicide, killing everyone on the plane. Whatever, I'm going to die. I guess who cares if I take all you with me? And I'm too much of a coward to actually jump out the door. So maybe if the plane just crashes, it's a coward. That's a lunatic. The person should be, put away and not let out for a while. I mean, obviously they take other human lives with no regard. That sounds like the game plan to me. Like, I'll either jump out or the plane will crash. Either way, I'll die. And then the plane wasn't going to crash, and whoever it was too much of a wuss to just jump out. So
the other thing that was being investigated, and they finally released some of it. I don't know how much they released of it and everything. Was the Congress has done all kinds of investigations. They had Supreme Court made a decision about union workers and what they can do in terms of protest and how the protesters can be sued for damages by their employers and everything in that way. But in that same light, I saw that the good folks in Congress were investigating UFOs, and they released some of their studies on UFOs. So I just want to know, have you been up on any of those supposed ships and everything? And what was it like? Did they do experiments on you? And what did you think of the government deciding to investigate it? But apparently they released some of this, I think it was a day or two ago, but they said, hey, we've been in the world, and there's got to be other things out there, so we just wanted to tell y'all what was going on.
Well, no, there's clearly UFOs. I would assume at this point there's there's got to be alien life. What else are these? I mean, you could be like, okay, this is. It just happens it seems to happen all the time now, and the more they release of, and this is just what they're releasing. Who knows if they got any actual, which a lot of people tell you, crashed vehicles with little green men inside or whatever you want to call them. But I think clearly that's why there's UFOs and someone's flying them. I mean, unless they're just alien drones, but then still someone's flying them. So I buy it. I don't understand it, but I buy it. It seems it's just too everywhere. It's too out there. It's like it's not just a small. It's getting bigger. The sampling size is getting bigger of all these UFOs that just keep showing up. So
they got to be getting samplers and everything. So I'm gonna let you get back to your news, but before I get there, you just had $600,000 laying around and everything, because I did see that Kurt Cobain's broken guitar sold for nearly $600,000, and I just know that that was you that bought it, because I just know that you had $600,000 laying around, so you just went ahead and broke.
Whose guitar did I buy? I'm not even sure.
Kurt Cobain's.
I like Nirvana and everything, but I don't know. That's maybe if I could play guitar. Although I feel like people who buy those things, they might just be like ding ding, and then they just put it in a case and then try and resell it at some point later on down the road. But I liked Nirvana. I liked I still like Foo Fighters. That's a good group. Ironic. It was bringing this whole story full circle. My dentist is the same dentist as the lead singer of the Foo Fighters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever see him when you're going for your appointment?
I did. That's how I know. Because I was in Dave Grohl. I'm leaving my cleaning, which, by the way, I got to schedule another. Thanks for reminding me. But I'm leaving my cleaning. I'm looking out through the office part where the receptionist is into the waiting room, and he's sitting there. He's very pleasant guy, just reading on his phone or whatever. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's a good sign. This guy could probably go anywhere he wants. He's coming here. I'm like, all right.
Well,
I have the same dentist.
well, apparently one good sign, and then like I said, I know you're gonna have fun with this one that is going on in the world, and this was actually last month. But community members from Severn, Maryland, are a little bit upset because
Oh,
apparently there's a local resident walking around displaying his rifle near a school bus stop in protest of gun control legislation.
yeah,
But
throw
police
that
say
guy in jail. I'm all for the right to guns, but when you start walking around buses with guns, you ain't right in the head, and you need to go to jail. Oh, it's my right to get away from the school bus with the gun, you jackass.
the police say that he's broken.
And
The
I'm
police
pro gun.
I know you're
I don't
pro
like
gun,
that.
but the police say there he's broken no law. So apparently, unless he shoots the gun, there's no law broken, and that's what happens even in some of these mass killings, serial killings. Is that there will be incidences where folks will complain about whatever was going on, whether it's a person's mental health or other things,
Yeah.
and then they will go make the complaint to the police, and the police will say, "Has he done anything yet?" And the person will say, "No," and then the police will basically be like, "I can't do anything."
They need a drone. They need a drone on that guy, just watching him. Keeping an eye on. He ain't right in the head. That guy's. No, I would lose my S if that's my kid's on that bus and some dope standing outside with a gun. No.
I hear you. I'm sorry. I just saw another story that just had me cracking up, and that's why I was had to pause for a minute. Because apparently, a service dog, you heard me correctly, a service dog,
Yeah,
that would be one of those police dogs and everything, maybe last week or something, got his own college degree. That's right. They got through college
he's
together.
a doctor like Jill Biden is. Dr. Woof Woof and Dr. Biden.
They said they got through college together, and with Grace Mariana took to the stage to receive her diploma at Seton Hall University, her service dog Justin was right beside her. Her fellow graduates cheered as school president Joseph Naira handed Mariana her diploma. So she earned a BS in education, graduating.
BS is right, Mark.
Well, like I said, that's what the young lady graduated, and that's what she got, a BS in education, graduated magna cum laude. Then Nair held out a diploma for Justin, and the crowd inside the Prudential Center in New York, New Jersey erupted. The scene was captured on video by the school. So apparently, this lovely dog has now got its degree as well. So
it's cute. It's a cute moment, But yeah, it just shows you the value of degrees these days. Just because you have a degree, especially like an honorary degree. Joe Biden, Jill Biden. Well, technically Jill, I earned hers, but I probably put that in the same category as the dog.
Jill got her degree legitimately, and she
did. I'm sure she's fine. I just like to bust on the left. I don't like her. I'm doctor. And it was the media like, oh, Dr. Biden, like she's like they're playing it like she's a medical doctor. No, a PhD doctorate. It's quite a different thing. But the media likes to spin stuff. Dr. Biden.
Well, if you want to spin stuff, here's a fun one for you. Apparently, a Australian woman, and this took place last month and everything, she survived 5 days in the bushland and all in that space. But the way she survived is she got by. It's like those people that live to be 100 and you ask them how they survived. Apparently, she got by surviving off of wine and candy. So apparently she's been missing in the Australian wilderness after making a wrong turn, and she survived for 5 days on wine and candy. So
what a hangover she must have had. Oh my God. Hey, check in with her later on in life, see how long she lasted. She must be built like a Sherman tank, She'd be eating bonbons and drinking $2 Chuck, and it's enough to get her through 5 days in the bush.
5 days in the bush. She was able to survive off of wine and candy.
Yeah, I think she was just drunk on wine and candy and on a bender for 5 days and needed. She's like the swan people. Oh, I thought it was a duck. I was lost.
Oh, you trying to say she wasn't really lost? And she turned to the right and she knew where she was. She was just
down the street. She knew exactly where she was. She just wasted and had enough of life for a bit and wanted a 5-day bender.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't there a term for people like that? It's called going off the grid. So you just say that
off the grid.
Yeah, intentionally went off the grid.
Yeah. Now, I could be wrong. I probably am. But, who the hell knows these days?
Well, they say that all of Congress is off the grid. So maybe that's what the deal is. They're all off the grid.
They're off the mental grid. That's for sure.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna let you go back into the rest of your news story. But yeah, it was fun hanging out with you, and also hanging out with Bernie virtually, because like I said, Bernie was supposed to be in person, but he had to go vote for the debt ceiling or vote against the debt ceiling.
Yeah, I would assume. I don't even know where he would stand on that. Where does the Communist Party stand on debt ceiling?
Bernie at the end, because this was a whole conversation about getting the wages up, because that's what he was there with Reverend Barber for, was to fight to get up to $17.50, because apparently the tip wage has been at $2 something forever, and there have been other things that they were concerned about.
Has he been to a McDonald's lately? Has he been to a McDonald's? Like, you've seen what happens when you raise the wage. The company's like, all right, we'll just replace everyone with robots. And then now you got AI. It's like, oh, we're doing everyone's such a solid. No, you're not. They're going to be out of a job. They're going to be replaced by much cheaper technology. And you're going to have, just instead of people having starter jobs, they're just going to go right onto welfare or public assistance. You know,
as his whole argument, like you said, he has his views are more probably to the social side, but he was definitely saying the $17.50, and they were also talking about child care workers.
Why not make it $700 an hour, Bernie? Let's just make it $700 an hour. Everyone should be a millionaire, so let's make it $700 an hour. Drive down the value of the dollar. Get companies to just boot everyone for compute. It's so arbitrary. It's like you can't ignore basic capitalism. Supply and demand economics.
But can you ignore basic cost of living, though, Jeff? Because they have definitely said that the cost of living has risen, whereas
of course, because they're printing money like it's going out of style. They got this printing press on locked on full blast and just shooting out money. They don't care. They're like, everything costs more. So now everyone's getting $17 an hour.
They don't care. The corporations don't care, because I was talking to a young lady that works at the center that I'm part of, the same place that he was supposed to speak at, and she teaches yoga. She was telling me that her 3-bedroom apartment in North Carolina was going up, because now she's looking for an apartment from $1,750 to $2,500. $7,500 is, what does that come out to? 2,500 times 12 that's like $30,000 just in your rent and everything.
That's a steal in LA. A 3-bedroom for $2,500. Wow. That's a bargain. I should move to North Carolina. But yeah, I can see that. I'm surprised they're jacking the rent up that high.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. I mean, particularly when you're not prepared for it, that's almost
probably because of inflation. So again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much Bernie bumps up your base salary. If inflation goes up so that it negates it and then actually makes it worse, you're in a worse situation than you were than if you weren't getting that money. And then they got to fire some people because they can't afford to pay everybody that new salary. So there's less people making that. It's all, it's smoke and mirrors. Make myself feel good about it, but it has no basis in economics, and it never works.
We'll find out. But like I said, to answer your question, Bernie said he was voting against the debt ceiling. He was actually joining forces with your MAGA folks, because he was feeling that the money spent on defense was too exorbitantly high and everything, and he also felt that there were some social causes, including like the cost of child education workers and others that were not getting paid their worthwhile wages. So he was thinking that there were things that we could cut that would not be what they wanted to cut. So that was his argument.
Bernie the contrarian,
So Bernie's going to hang out there with the MAGAs. He was going to agree with you.
Yeah, well, they're on the same team, for this one.
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of, although for different reasons, I guess it's a sort of a coming together.
They were coming together.
Unity for strange causes.
Strange causes. Megan and Bernie on the same page.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
Bound to happen. What can we do about it? It's bound to happen.
Well, that's good. Let's more. At least they're voting for the same way on something. So you got to take the positives where you can.
You got to take the positives. I'm gonna positively get on out of here and see if I can't find me some food.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, I still can't get over those kids with the swan, man. That's just disturbing. I can get it if you're starving or something. I gotta eat. Okay. This is like just some park swan swimming around. DeSantis is back in the race. Well, I mean, I guess he always was, but he's officially announced it. King of the Castle, it says. This is on Fox News. Judge presiding over lawsuit between DeSantis and Disney reportedly makes a major move. I bet it's not that major. And Disney, they're losing money. I mean, they're streaming. They got woke, and they're starting to go broke. And you're like, no, they're fine. Nah, not really. Not if you look at the spreadsheets. Not if you look at all the layoffs they just made. Not if you look at the insanely high losses of their streaming service. And the losses of the streaming service are based on the fact that people are like, oh my God, Disney, this is great. I can see all my classic Disney movies. This is going to be wonderful. And they're excited and they're enjoying it. And then all the woke horse crap gets shoveled into the program and like, all right, I've seen Bambi a couple times now. Let me get the hell out of here. Get woke, go broke. That is it in a nutshell. And so that's where they're at. And so they're like, oh, well, we're canceling this big complex we were going to build for our workers. Yeah, well, so what? You were going to have to do it anyways because you don't have any money to build it. Make it like it's a political stand. So now they're in a tit for tat with DeSantis. They're fighting, spending more money they don't have. Just entertain people. How about that? Just entertain us. Just that job. Like, oh, we're not here to entertain. Yeah, you are. You just entertain us. You're a company based on entertainment. I don't need your politics. I don't need your woke this or woke that. Entertain me and my kids. Entertain everybody else, and let us live our lives. No one can let you live your life anymore. Everyone's got an opinion, and you have to agree with it. And even if it brings our entire company down, there are these CEOs at Target. Let's be woke. We got to be woke. They're going to destroy their whole company, destroy shareholder value, destroy workers who will get fired when these places go under. And they don't care because look at me. I'm so woke. It's just this massive ego, this leviathan of an ego that they have where they have to puff out their chest, show everybody how woke they are, and everyone else be damned. The people who work for them, the people who invest in them, they should lose their jobs. If you tank a company billions of dollars based on your stupid woke decision or whatever decision it was that cost the company billions of dollars, you need to go. It's pretty simple.
It's me again. So we're going to get rid of a couple of companies because apparently Target, Bud Light, and Disney have all faced backlash over their support of the LGBT community. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Starbucks, are you ready for this? Are paying travel costs for employees seeking abortions in states where it is now illegal. And Nike faced a boycott over its threat for its support of Colin Kaepernick, and Levi Strauss has been backing gun control efforts. So apparently Levi Strauss is behind gun control efforts and everything.
People need to get out of, if you're a company and you sell goods to people, goods and services, you get out. I don't want to know your politics. I don't want to know whether you're left or right. I don't want to know what you think about anything. Just sell me my gun, sell me my Pepsi, sell me my whatever. And let me live my life, and then I can have political discussion. I want to go to a store and not have to have a political discussion involved with my purchase.
Well, apparently it's been a conversation for a while because during the civil rights movement, the New York Times Magazine asked if corporations have a social duty to speak up, and the head of U.S. Steel declared that it's quite beyond what a corporation should do. So that's what the U.S. Steel guy, which is a union guy, said and everything. But now times have changed. And companies are focusing on longer-term, purpose-driven commitments and actions that relate back to their core business and their core values, according to Amy Terpelek, who helps craft such strategies as a marketing partner for the marketing firm Finn Partner.
The beauty of America is it's a free country. You can do whatever you want, but there are going to be consequences, and the consequences are extreme because you're extreme. Your views are extreme, and the majority of your customers may or may not agree with them. And in these cases, obviously they don't agree with them. If they did, then the company wouldn't be getting any heat. It wouldn't matter. The companies are choosing niche marketing and really just to feel woke and be like, oh, look on Facebook, I got a lot of likes because I did.
Hey Jeff, but there was a company I love their name of the company, but Sprout Social, a software company that works to help businesses grow, conducted a survey that shows 70% of Americans now believe that brands should take a stand on social issues.
I don't. First of all, this company, this Sprout Social, that's already suspect, Mark. I don't know.
Well, Edelman sounds like it's a social. Edelman just has the name of a person, and communications firm Edelman found nearly 2/3 of their product based on beliefs and values.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure that I'd like to see the polling sample and how it was done. And if they just went out to an LGBT community or maybe like a far right community and they okay, well, we'll just poll these people. And obviously we'll get at least 70% back who are, where are we polling? I'd like to see some of the data. It's all very sus to me.
I think I found a new sponsor for you, Jeff.
Oh, if it's a sponsor, then line
No,
them
I
up.
found a new sponsor for you. Hold on a second. Listen to me, because it says
I'll
one
change it.
result.
I'll throw all my morals and
No,
opinions
hold on
to
a
the
second.
wind.
Hold on. I got a sponsor. Let me go to this article that I found, read what I found out, and tell me if this is going to be a sponsor. Because
Oh my
it says
God.
one result is a recent boom in right-leaning companies. Black Rifle Coffee Shop, for example,
Yeah, I like them.
is a conservative alternative to Starbucks, and the Daily Wire, a right-leaning media company, is dreaming even bigger with a line of anti-woke shaving gear, chocolate bars, and eventually
Hey,
they say,
Mark, you know that's already one of my sponsors, right?
children's programming. Huh?
You know that's one of my sponsors, right?
Who's Black
Jeremy's
Rifle?
Razors is the woke anti-woke alternative to Harry's Razors. I'm already a sponsor.
No, I got that, but
Yeah, yeah.
have you reached out to Black Rival?
I have. Here's the thing, like I did because I'm like, oh, cool. All right, stick it to the man. And so now sticking it to the man is sticking it to the woke crowd. I'm like, hey, Black Rifle Coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I'm drinking Starbucks right now. Yeah, it's around. And yeah, I want to. They don't know who I am yet, so they're like, hey, I've gotten nothing back. but Daily Wire and Jeremy's was cool. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll work with you. So
we got to get Black Rifle on you. They're a coffee company. You
I
drink
think
coffee.
they should. I've sent them numerous emails, Mark. I will not be ignored.
You should not be ignored. Speaking of not being ignored, there is a conservative restaurant that is apparently made people very mad because apparently they have said that even they have gone woke, to use your term, and everything. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I love their chicken, man. They got good chicken. I mean, it's funny because they were hated by the left. Hated. Like if you open a Chick-fil-A, because I live in Los Angeles, there's protests and people are angry about it because they're very Christian. Oh no, they're Christian. But now, like it's gone the other way, where the left should be at least somewhat appeased by their woke, hire of diversity, equity, or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see how that shakes out. But they still make great chicken, and I don't care if they hire it doesn't affect their chicken sandwich any. It's a free country. Do what you want. But if I go in there and you start preaching to me, then we got a problem. If I go in there and I got to listen to your.
Aren't you technically preaching? Aren't you technically preaching when you shut off a certain day? There's 7 days in the week, and they are a very Christian organization. Them and I think it's the Hero Company.
They're not preaching at all. They're just taking the day off. That's not preaching. It's just taking the day off. That's a courtesy to your employees. Like I used to work in the car business as a sales trainer, and when I would go to Michigan, it was weird because they had, I think, either Saturday or Sunday off or Sunday off, which in the car business was nuts because that's like your busiest day. But I mean, I was like, well, this is actually a nice thing. And I don't think it might have been, probably was originally for some Christian reason. But also, these guys' lives were much better than car salesmen anywhere else because they actually had a weekend off. Everyone else is working on the weekend to make your quota, this and that. So, yeah.
You gotta make that quota. And but sometimes you want Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. You can't get it because it's not open on Sunday.
Yeah, you gotta, you know what? You're gonna have to go with some horrible liberal alternative.
I don't know. No, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. I get the Chick-fil-A Monday through Saturday and everything. And on Sunday, I'll go find one of my Muslim brothers and go get a bean pie. So
now you see, now you're talking. And by the way, if a Muslim restaurant were closed on Ramadan, or I don't know what day's sacred to them during the week, if there is one, okay. I don't feel preached to. That's your day. Good for you. I'll be back tomorrow for some kebabs.
You'll be back on that day.
Yeah, there was a great place in Detroit, but it was crooked and it was sending money to like terrorists basically. And so they closed it down, but boy, it was good. I wish I could remember the name. It was a Middle Eastern place. Oh, it had the best kebabs. Lashish, I think it was called. Oh, so good. Yeah, but and then they wound up being all corrupt, and I couldn't get my good kebabs anymore because they all.
The funny thing about some of these restaurants is that I don't know how you feel about it, and I don't know how it is in LA, but it's interesting when you go to these restaurants that have a ethnic background, and then you see that the folks that are working are not necessarily of that ethnic background. Because I remember there was a very popular in one of our malls that is now shut down and everything, a very popular New Orleans Cajun kind of restaurant. And, Cajun is usually French and Creole, but it was mostly Chinese folks that were over there running that particular restaurant. I want to say it's Latin folks that are running the Mediterranean restaurant that I love dearly and everything. So it's interesting seeing sometimes people of different ethnicities that are running a restaurant because they're in it for the money aspect of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what capitalism is all about. They're
Yeah,
like,
as long
hey,
as it tastes good, I don't care who's making it. I mean, you're like, oh, I mean, if it tastes good, if it tastes bad, then I'm like, oh, well, of course.
it's got to taste good. It's got to taste
staff, but if it
It's got
tastes
to
good,
taste
like,
good.
yeah,
It's got to
whatever.
taste at least somewhat similar to whatever the style of food that you're looking
Yeah.
for is, and everything.
Like when I get sushi, I prefer this there be an Asian person making the sushi, but most of the time I live in LA, it's a Hispanic person. It tastes great, so I don't have any problem. I kind of like I go to an acupuncture. She barely speaks any English, and I love it because I feel like she's from Asia, China. I'm not sure where she's from. She doesn't speak great English, but I'm like she's like dialed in. Like this is passed from her mom to her to her. You know what I mean? I'm like I'm getting good acupuncture. I'm not getting some
good
some white chick.
Speaking of good acupuncture and everything, I got a question for you because I'm beginning to think that it is a prerequisite for politics, and like I oftentimes say, I don't care whether it's
being white's the kiss of death in politics these days.
No, there's something else that's more important in politics that I've realized, and I don't care whether you're, left, right, whatever your politics are. I have decided after watching several of these presidents over several decades, remembering Ford, seeing what happened recently with Biden, even seeing what happened with Trump and everything, I think falling is a prerequisite. I think that there is actually a contract in there that says that you must be able to fall and fall several times in order to be president.
I think that's just Biden and Ford. I mean, everyone falls a little, but those two have taken it to extreme. And then with Ford, of course, like on SNL, they made fun of him constantly because it was funny. I couldn't take 2 steps without falling down. Biden, you won't see any of that. Not on SNL. No, we must protect the liberal Fabergé egg, this little fragile man that he is.
But it's not just him. But, Reagan fell down. Even Trump made a joke about
everyone
it.
Falls, but it's just it's like the number of times. Like you got a couple. There's maybe a couple for Reagan, a couple for Trump. Biden's got to be in the high 20s. That we've,
But he borrowed from your line. He made a joke about it because apparently when he fell, he was falling at a military thing, and apparently they're worth. And I know this for a fact because I've done events. Oftentimes there are sandbags that are laid there partially to protect the stage and do other things. So apparently he tripped over the sandbag. So he made a joke about how he had been sandbagged and everything. And we do know that's a political terminology as well. So I thought that at least he used a opportunity to show that he's got a sense of humor.
Well, that's good if he actually wrote it, but I feel it was a Chinese sandbag. It was an assassination attempt, and the Chinese government said, "How can we take him out? Do we need a right now? I just put a sandbag somewhere on the stage." Check the back of that sandbag, see if it says "Made in China." I'm kidding. That's the one thing about Biden is our enemies, China, Russia, you name it. They want him in power as long as possible. You know what I mean? They've got the run of the house with him in charge, so they want to keep him healthy. They probably send him gift baskets, besides the one Hunter brings him from various organizations. Allegedly,
speaking of
the FBI's covering up now.
Speaking of gifts, we were talking about the NBA. There was a NBA player that was floating around and showing and flashing his gun and everything. And apparently Adam Silver, who is a Duke graduate, has said that they have uncovered a fair amount of additional information, and so he might be facing some potential suspension and everything.
He needs to go until he gets some mental health. Until he gets better mentally. That guy's he's a loose cannon. Loose cannon with a hand cannon. I mean, it's just he ain't right in the head. Get him out, get him some help, and hopefully he gets better. You can't just leave him the way he is and keep employing him and paying him, millions of dollars or whatever they're paying him.
But that you've got some guns. You've got some guns in your house that you just go around and float around and show to your buddies and everything. And
maybe in a picture. We might go shoot once in a while, go to the range. But like if you bought maybe you got a new gun or something, you might show it to your friends. But I'm not like driving in a car. I think the pictures of him, he's like out in public with like not in a range, but like walking down the street or in a car. I mean, this is a whole different level. It's like that stupid idiot with the gun by the school bus.
Well, speaking of guns, speaking of guns and mental health, I'm also beginning to think that a prerequisite, like the prerequisite to fall in for the politicians, I think a prerequisite to being a athlete, and in some cases an entertainer. And you don't have any. I know I don't have any because I'm scared of needles and everything. But is it a prerequisite? Did you have to have tattoos? Because every time I look at these athletes, it doesn't care whether they're from the part of Eastern Europe, like Joker is, or whether they're like Morant or a number of these other players, they all seem to have tattoos. So it's just like a prerequisite for being a athlete that you've got to get underneath the needle. Speaking of acupuncture,
probably. I mean, if you see all your heroes have it and everyone around you does it, you're a group, you're a clique, so hey, I'm gonna tattoo. Oh, maybe I'll get a tattoo. Okay, I want to be like this person. You're tattoo indoctrinated. I got to get a tattoo. Everyone's got a tattoo. But then if you want to stand out, you got to go the other way, and no tattoos. So, there's that too. To be the rebel. The rebel has no
speaking
tattoos.
of rebels, I just saw another shocking story. You're going to love this one.
What's that?
Are you ready?
Probably not. Still traumatized.
I think you're not ready for this one, but millennials are not an exception. Apparently, they are not an exception because the article that I am finding is saying that certain young groups are moving to the right.
Yeah, it's become, it's whatever you're told to do, in the media and social media, and everyone is telling you have to be left. You got to go left. Left is even though it makes no sense, logically. And to rebel, how do you rebel? Well, you take a stand against the societal norms or what society demands of you, which is that you have to be a lunatic leftist. And you go, you know what? No, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to go to the right. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yeah, they said they did an article of cohorts of folks that were under 50 in different age ranges in that under 50 category. And quite a few of them were moving more to the right than to the left.
They know the fix is in. They know they're being lied to. They know that the system is rigged, and they're like, let's take a stand against it, and let's be rebels. Let's go right. It can't get any. I mean, the left has ruined the country, really, and continues to. So thank you for coming on board. Maybe we can stop some of the damage.
So they're going to move to the right and stop the damage.
Well, yeah, we got to get more. We certainly got to get the presidency back from the yuts in charge now, and then you gotta of course. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with some Democrat cities. They just seem too far gone. Like people who aren't lunatic leftists, who aren't crazy leftists, have a lot of them left. So all you're left with is the lunatic fringe. And so what, are they going to suddenly all come to their senses and vote for a centrist candidate or a conservative? No. So cities like San Francisco and cities like Portland, and cities like Chicago. I mean, I don't know, how do they pull out of the tailspin? They don't have a handle to even pull on anymore.
But guess who's going to go against his dad, apparently? Because this was another article I found that you'll love as well, because I know that you mentioned his name a couple of times. But
I don't know.
For a long time, Joe Biden has been an advocate for stricter restrictions on guns. So they're saying that his son is making somewhat of an unlikely advocate for expanded gun rights. But Hunter Biden may soon find himself on the opposite side of his father's gun control crusade in at least one aspect. The younger Biden is reportedly considered a challenge to a federal law that bans illegal drug users from owning guns. So
yeah, you see what I mean? Like, he's just so crooked. He's so corrupt, and the media gives him a complete pass. He just flat out admits, like, oh well, I'm a felon and a drug. I mean, I don't even think he is a felon. He should be, but I don't think he actually is. But yeah, so he's I think he's had some DWIs. And then so you got this corrupt idiot. And now he wants his gun. He wants his gun. He doesn't want to go to jail for all the crimes he's committed. He wants his gun. He wants his money. Yet he won't pay child support, or complains about having to pay, that he's broke and can't pay child support to his stripper baby. And then Biden won't even acknowledge the kid. He just ignores it. If Trump did any of this, if this happened to the Trump family, this would be a wet dream for the Democrat media. But you don't hear none of this is ever covered in the leftist press.
Well, how much have they covered? Well, I can't say it's the leftist press, because a lot of the press has got some very interesting views both on the right and the left. I think the press is just corrupt, but that's just my opinion.
I would agree with that. They are corrupt.
The press has got all kinds of issues and everything, and it needs to go back to actual true reporting.
Journalism. Yeah, truth, objectivity. Give that a shot. Media. You might score some points. You might at least stop bleeding viewers.
Yeah, they are bleeding viewers left and right.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you. It's in beta stages. I'll send you an invitation, or Kim will, and everything, because I know you're a big fan of Rumble. But apparently, we here at Pod TV are about to start our own version of social media. It's called Chatter. So hopefully, there are beta stages of this, and everything is actually out there. And it's called Pod TV Chatter, and there are beta things out. But I think by July, she's planning to roll it out. She's even got a red, white, and blue page that'll have discussions of politics, because as she says, there are three sides to every issue. So they were calling it the red, white, and blue page and all of that. But yeah, we're going to have our own social media platform right here on this.
That sounds awesome. That sounds great. I'm happy about that. So yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Good times. Keep it up, Kim.
They've got all kinds of things rolling out there in that space. I'll let you get your last 10 minutes in, but I just had to give you a hard time about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's you got to keep me honest, Mark. I'll go off on a tear. I won't come back. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, kind of what we're talking about. Navy. This is fine. We're still on Fox here. Navy takes down LG. And this is another thing that it's they keep adding letters. Okay, pride, great. Great. All right, whatever. Live your life, whatever. Can we just slow down on the letters for the LGBTQ plus? There's another letter coming by next week. Navy takes down LGBTQ plus pride post on Instagram and Twitter and removes rainbow banner. I think the issue people have, it's like the whole the drag queen draft and all this. It's just, come on, just draft people, okay? And then whatever. They're good at their job or they're bad. They get ahead on merit or they don't. They get they pass on merit or they don't. But that doesn't happen. It's all even in the military. It's all just box checkers. What's your sexual orientation? Oh, we need one of those. What's your minority? Oh yeah, we could use that. Native American. Yeah, we don't have that. Okay, yeah, we'll make you an admiral. And I joke, but that's what's going on. I didn't do a story on it yesterday, but I talked about it yesterday. The English Air Force RAF. It was sued by many white pilots because they were basically being not demoted, but not promoted because of the color of their skin. Basic racism. They had to pay them all. I think there was 33 of them, like 130K each, or pounds. I don't know, But basically, and then there was emails where they said they refer to white people as worthless white people. Like if ever there was a job outside maybe a doctor where it's critically important that you be good at it, I would say it would be a fighter pilot, where merit should be the only thing that matters. I don't care if they're all, one-legged, albino, transvestite, whatever. If they're the best pilots, suit them up, get them in there, get them in the cockpits, let them start, taking shots. But to again, throw merit aside, simply to check woke, like if you're attacked, I guarantee you the Russian army, the Chinese army, they didn't give a lick about anyone's status this way or that. They want the best person for the job, and they're going to be aces, and they're going to just rip through your crap paper mache Air Force. Their rainbow colored planes. Hire the best person for the job. Who cares who it is? If it's non-binary, LGBTQ, whatever, and that's your entire Air Force, and they're the best at the job. Okay, great. If it's 10 white, 5 black, 4 Hispanic, whatever, who cares? As long as they are the best at the job. You want to end racism, you base every decision on merit. And if you don't, you're by definition a racist. And this concept eludes the left. And they claim to be the party against racism when all they do is make each and every decision based on your race or your sexual orientation, or ideally both. We need more handicap pilots. Why don't we have quadriplegics in the plane? It's very discriminatory to not have a quadriplegic airline pilot yet, or a fighter jet pilot. You make the planes, so they can operate it without, I don't know what's going on these days with the technology, AI, but sensors in the brain, and you let them fly. And you re-outfit. I want all these planes reconfigured. I want a 20% representation by next week. Look at me. I'm a politician, a liberal leftist. This is the insanity that we live in. It's just so stupid. Police reveal shooter's arsenal during a New Mexico deadly rampage. All right. So now you know what kind of guns he had. Let me check the New York Post real fast and see what they've got to say. What happened? Old computer. This is sad. The kid, he jumped up a ship. He's on a dare. He's on some vacation trip. Yeah, someone dared him to jump off the ship. He's like, okay, yeah, they're not that far. I'll probably be fine. He jumps off the ship. What he doesn't know is the water's filled with sharks. No bueno. No bueno for him. That is for sure. Yeah, he did not make it. California student arrested over mob beating of Marines beach party will be charged as adult. Okay. It seemed like a pretty vicious attack from the video I saw. So, yeah, he should be. I'm shocked, though. California. I can't imagine it was in L.A. If it was in L.A., they wouldn't have even arrested him. I'm going to just check. But I'm guessing this could not have been in Los Angeles proper at a beach around here because there is no law and order here. We have Gaskin, D.A. Gaskin, who is one of the most pro-criminal DAs of all time. So let's see. Where did this take place? No way it's Los Angeles. No way. This guy, they'd already be out. First of all, there'd be no cash bail. They'd probably give him a medal because all of them were white. I think everyone was white, actually. The students accused of beating a mob over 30 people attacked Marine school party. San Clemente. Yeah, I knew it wasn't Los Angeles.
Isn't San Clemente where the prison is? Or there was something?
Yeah, it is actually. There's a prison in San Clemente. They could take him right over.
Hey, guys. It was like a big prison during the civil rights movement and everything. Speaking of civil rights, I know you're not a big fan of it, but I did watch the first episode of the 1619 Project because it was on Hulu. And
there's some shady people involved with that. I'm just saying. Although I didn't see it, I can't really. I'm just talking kind of out of my head.
Can't say that.
Like I haven't seen it.
So you haven't seen it, and there's some valid points made, like the fact that
I guess you can really watch it before I insult it.
Yeah, you need to watch it. Like to make some valid points, like the fact that the celebration of Williamsburg, which is the celebration of some of the Confederacy, doesn't even talk about the black folks that were there. So, like I said, you can go up there and leave the black folks involved, even though they were a vital part of the storyline.
Well, I feel like Republicans should get reparations, along with African Americans, since we helped free the slaves. I feel like the only ones who should have to pay, this is my personal theory, is registered Democrats because they belong to the party that was, fighting for the South and just going. But if we're going to go back hundreds of years, I feel like that seems only fair. So I'm all on board of reparations, but only registered Democrats pay. And then you sign me up, and I get a cut. I get a piece.
You're gonna get a cut. I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm not trying to take everything, but just let me have my piece of the pie.
Cool. Well, I'm just glad that you're back because we missed you last week and everything.
I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. Good. Goodness gracious, Mark up. And I will have to. I know nothing about the 1619 project. I should really at least research it a little bit. It was good seeing you, buddy.
Good seeing you too. So I'm gonna show your Jeremy's razors when you're ready and get you all out of here. But
yeah,
it's been fun, and we'll definitely see you on next time. But I don't know if you got any parting words you want to give to your audience.
Just have a great week. Love each other, regardless of your political affiliation. Unite, come together. Don't believe the media. Trust your gut. And if left to our own devices, we would all be getting along just great. Yeah, there'd be a couple of duds, but for the most part, we would all be getting along. So turn off the media, except for mine. Join me at jeffahern.com. With that being said, follow me there. I do my news bits there. Jeremy's Razors, Ahern 15 for 15% off. I think that's all my plugs, Mark. And thank you, as always, to my amazing producer, Mark. And yeah, I guess that's it. All right, buddy. I'll see you next week. Bye. Hello and welcome to Newsday with Jeff Ahern. I'm your host, Jeff Ahern. Today's top story. Remember Harry's Razors, the company that stopped advertising with the Daily Wire after hearing something as innocuous as boys are boys and girls are girls? They called it inexcusable. Look, I know you're a grooming company, but you don't have to take the grooming part quite so literally. I'm surprised the razors don't come with a rainbow handle and a discount code for a sex change, especially after deciding to put their emphasis on pandering over product. But credit where credit is due. Their product is great at exfoliating. It exfoliated conservative customers right off of their balance sheet, taking a straight razor to profits and leaving a once loyal customer base with a really bad case of razor burn. And for what? Not being in lockstep with leftist wokeism? This has to be the greatest shaving blunder since someone gave Sweeney Todd a chair at the local barbershop. But who can blame Harry's Razors for buckling under the pressure of a Twitter user's complaints? I mean, this guy had 2 followers. Look out, Kim Kardashian. Here comes what's-his-face. And I bet one of his followers was probably trying to sell him crypto. Harry's claimed they were pulling their ads due to a values misalignment. What values? Woke grandstanding? Progressive preening? All you did with this woke publicity stunt was make your entire company as disposable as your razors. Because there's a new shave in town, Jeremy's Razors. Because I don't want another woke lecture. I want a tungsten handle, flip back trimmer, shave fit for a man. Blades sharp as truth that cut through bearded stubble like common sense cuts through liberalism. A razor for deep shaving deplorables, for flyovers with facial hair. A man's razor from a company still willing to admit there's such a thing as a man. Let Harry's go in on the trans market. I guess they figure those guys are going to shave more than most people anyways. Especially if they want to appear even remotely feminine. I mean, it's bad enough you're going to break every female sports record while sporting male genitalia. So why do you got to rub it in sporting a 5 o'clock shadow? It's time to take a stand against woke cancel culture with a great clean shave. And don't forget to lather up with Jeremy's shaving cream before you do. Made with green tea oil to calm irritation and reduce redness. Almond oil, which creates a cushion for your blade. And cocoa butter, which reduces bumps. All available at jeremy'srazors.com. Go there right now and use promo code Ahern15 to get 15% off your next purchase. Stick it to the man, or whatever Harry's identifies as. So head over to jeremy'srazors.com and tell them Jeff sent you.